situationship broke my heart on the first day of a 6-day road trip. Story time. I was so hesitant going into this relationship with Wendell because I had been hurt in the past, and I decided to do things differently this time. I was open and honest, and I told him that I didn't want to have any intimacy or anything like that unless I knew that this was heading towards a serious relationship. And he reassured me every step of the way that that's what he wanted to and that he really liked me. In fact, he was falling for me. He told me that on multiple occasions, and I really trusted his word because he was so responsible and seemingly emotionally intelligent. We had great introspective conversations, and he was about to graduate with a bachelor's in psychology to become a therapist. So I had no reason to doubt him. Now I know he was a man. That's why I should have doubted him. That's reason enough. So we plan a road trip to Colorado because we both have family in Colorado that we wanted to visit. And then at the same time, we could have some fun just traveling and seeing some different stuff, okay? It's a 2-day drive to get from where we live to Colorado. And then, of course, 2 days back. And we were staying there for 2 days. So 6 days. 6 days. So a couple hours into our first day driving, we're yapping. He's talking about how he's about to graduate with his bachelor's and he's excited for all the different things that could happen. He's going to start applying to different jobs. And then he mentions that his best friend, a girl by the way, is moving to a different state and invited him to potentially apply to some jobs out there and then move out there and be her roommate. And he's just telling me this all excitedly. Meanwhile, heart shattered. I wait like a full 24 hours before I ask him, where does that leave us? And he says, oh, I genuinely didn't think about that. This man was about to be a fucking psychologist. So from there, the energy shifted. Now I could feel that he was looking at me differently. It no longer felt like he was infatuated with me. It felt like he was disgusted with me. Have you ever played Sims? And sometimes like they'll have an interaction with someone and then that Sim gets this like red subtraction sign, like they just really like you less after that. Like I just kept feeling that from him with different things. One being meeting my family. Mind you, I had met 2 different households of his family on this trip. But as he met mine, I just felt like he was disgusted with me and my family. Like, I don't know, his family were like very proper Mormons and my family is kind of cuckoo bananas. Then on our last day in Colorado, when we were about to leave and go home, he was a big time hiker. Okay, he likes to hike. So he was like, oh, like before we leave, I really want to go on a hike. And I'm like, okay, cool, like I'm supportive. Now, mind you, I'm not a hiker, but I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh, we're gonna go on a walk. No, we were hiking a mountain, bitch. We were hiking a mountain. And he's over here skipping up this mountain. And I'm like sweating. And that was another point where I could see the disgust. And I was disgusted with me too. But bitch, why did you put me in this situation? At some point, I have to sit down, and it's rough. I'm not doing well. And he's trying to encourage me. He's like, you can do this. And I'm like embarrassed. Okay. I didn't want to do this, but I was like, I fucking have to, and I have to try to look as pretty as I can, and that I'm failing completely at. So just imagine me, hair slicked back, sweating. I don't even have asthma, but I was having an asthma attack. Okay, gulping down my water. I can barely see. Everything is a blur. Meanwhile, there's like toddlers that are passing us. I was really feeling horrible about myself, and he was feeling horrible about me too. So we finished the hike, we get to my car, that was awful, that was horrible. Just to make it all worse, leaving Colorado, we're gonna go to a dispensary. I get some gummies. Usually don't do that around other people, usually I do that at home by myself. And I get blasted to another dimension. So awkward. I had to have him drive, and for like the whole first day of driving, I just sat in the passenger seat like looking out the window because I did not want to be observed by someone who was already disgusted with me. Then at one point, I'm just letting my Spotify play my library randomized. Never a good idea. But when this one song comes on and I'm thinking like, it's finished. He's like, was that an ad? No. Disgusted with me. I could feel it. So fast forward, we're almost back in town. We're talking about like, oh, what a long trip. Like, that was cool, whatever. We're so happy to be able to go back to our own beds and everything. And he says, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm going to need like a week away from you now. Now, mind you, not seeing me for a week, not going to happen because he had previously bought us tickets to his favorite artist, which was scheduled for like 2 days after we got home from our trip. So I knew that I was gonna see him soon. Even though I was heartbroken, I didn't text him or anything because I knew I was gonna see him in a couple days and then I could see how he was acting towards me. Should I have broken up with him? Yeah, I should have, but I didn't have a lot of self-worth. So I was kind of just hoping that it would get better. Spoiler alert, it didn't. So the time comes to go to this little show. It was very small and intimate of like a show. And I could tell he was trying, like at one point he had his arm around me, whatever. And there, it comes to a point in the show where the artist is, on stage talking and he's like, turn to someone next to you and say, I love you. To be clear, like he was saying this in a way of like, you could even tell a stranger I love you. Like it's just supposed to be like spread kindness sort of thing. So I'm like, this is awkward. Let me see if he says that he loves me to me. But instead, we just both stood there right next to each other, just looking forward. After that, we both kind of go back to our normal lives. And he starts kind of texting me like normal again, sending me long like paragraphs venting about his anxiety and me like giving him advice. I mean, who should really be the therapist here? So I'm thinking like, okay, maybe we're kind of cool right now, like whatever. Secretly, I'm like heartbroken because really I know what's gonna happen, but I'm just waiting for him to kind of break it off with me. It's taking longer for him to reply than it did earlier in the relationship, but whatever. So one day, if you've watched my videos before, you might know of my lifelong best friend, Mindy. She was visiting me from out of town and we had a little falling out. It was really stupid. Obviously, we got over it, but at the time I was crying about it and I texted him telling him like that I really needed someone in that moment. And I didn't feel too embarrassed to ask for that because I was always doing that for him. So he told me that he would come by in a couple hours after he was done with whatever he was doing. And I was like, yes, at least I have this to look forward to. Now, I had ran out of deodorant and didn't want to be sweaty when he came over. So I had to like get in my car, drive down to a store and buy some deodorant so I'd be ready for when he came over. And then he calls me. And he basically tells me that he's so sorry, but he can't make it over to my house right now because this girl that's his friend, but he doesn't know that well, apparently, is calling him crying, saying that she needs someone to talk to right now. And he's gonna go talk to her instead. And he's acting like, oh, it's kind of weird because he's not that close with her. She's more of like a friend of a friend, but she's distraught right now. And now he's sitting outside her house, but he wanted to make sure he called me first so I could vent to him first before he goes to her house instead of coming to my house. Another instance that I should have just ended it, but I didn't. I was taking the crumbs, okay? Any crumbs I could get. So fast forward another week or so. We're still texting here and there, pretending like everything's cool. I'm going through all of the emotions of a breakup and we haven't even broken up yet. And one day, my friends had a little get-together where we all wore lingerie and we took really cute pictures of each other. It was just a fun little thing. And afterwards, I had these cute pictures and I was like, who do I send them to? Everyone's sending them to their boyfriends. I sent it to him. But I wasn't thinking much of it. I didn't really care in the moment. I just sent it. But his lack of response really started to tear me up inside because now I was realizing what a vulnerable thing that was to send and then to not receive a response. And in fact, I didn't receive a response at all until the next day when he sent me something complaining about his day and then also added, oh, by the way, like that's a cute picture. So then he says, hey, let's meet up. Let's go get some breakfast the next day or something. And I was like, yay. He knew I only had a few hours before I had to go into work. But during the breakfast, we sat down and we were talking and just having great conversations about whatever. And then he's like, hey, you have like an hour or so before work. How about I come to your house for a minute? So I get home, I get my work uniform on. I'm like about to head out the door. He comes over. He and I sit down and he says, yeah, I don't think this is going to work out. He gave me all the yap. He told me all the things like, oh, like I like you. Maybe it'll work out someday, just not now. So then now I have to go to work after just being broken up with. Cool. So I unfriended him on everything. I deleted his number. But guess who reached out to me 3 years later?